Well, hello everyone. It's been a really long time since I've last live streamed, but I have a really good occasion. Uh, Once again, this may feel pretty nostalgic. Uh, OpenStack installation tutorials. And this is something I have kinda already tried, and I thought that for another approach, um, another try, it might be a good idea to live stream. So basically, uh, I am I have a very large push at my work to learn more OpenStack. And by the way, this is like 35 degrees Celsius today, so I might look kind of sweaty. Don't worry about that. But I found this OpenStack installation tutorial, which basically shows you how to install OpenStack using OpenStack Kolla, which is basically a set of Ansible playbooks to ease you into the job. And I have prepared myself a similar looking environment. So basically free control nodes, free compute nodes, one NFS storage node, and two networks. So that's already done and it's working. And aside from that, you can pretty much see that the tutorial isn't very complicated. Basically, like TLDR, it's like downloading Ansible playbook, filling in like 7 lines of config, maybe 4 more lines of hosts, and then just playing the playbook, right? So it's not that complicated. But since I've said that I have already done this once, you may assume that something has not gone quite right, and you would be right. The thing that like hurt me the most whenever I was doing this, basically whenever you are deploying like OpenStack on 6 or 7 nodes, basically each and every one of those is downloading like 6 container images, which means you have 6 by 7, and 6 times 7 gives you 42. Okay, you can't see that, but I have used a calculator. Anyway, that's like 42 pools, and some of those image registries may see that as may basically give you like rejections. So what I would like to start with is to set up some caching proxy for image registry, and this is something that I have also already done some R&D on. And it means that you cannot just simply use the Docker registry container image as a cache, because as I found out, it doesn't support anything other than Docker Hub.io. So I have already another project that I would like to try out because I haven't done that yet. Oh yeah, two more other things. So if somebody is not familiar, OpenStack is basically like a framework for running a cloud. If you are wondering what is Amazon running on, maybe OVH Cloud, I'm not sure Azure is running on OpenStack, but almost like I want to say every cloud provider has OpenStack somewhere inside. CERN has OpenStack, many educational institutions have OpenStack. Basically, if you want to have a cloud, you are running OpenStack at least somewhere. And it is a very big and convoluted and complicated set of services and features that have to work with one another. So it might seem scary to deploy. The other thing I wanted to say is that just as part of, I want to say just for giggles, I have decided to try and run this on IPv6. So basically my management network will be IPv6 only. So in addition to this diagram, there is like one another extra VM here, which is basically a bastion that is able to bridge this IPv6 land to my IPv4 VPN that I have. And basically to overall IPv4 internet, because as I found out, this can be IPv6 only. Like, this is another thing that I have found out. This can be IPv6 only. Everything will work except for GitHub. GitHub is not supporting IPv6 at all. So if you're trying to download some snippet, some code, some project or whatever from GitHub, it does not work. Thankfully, according to this tutorial, we will not be necessarily needing any of GitHub connectivity. They do have some GitHub at the very, very end, but that's more as a form of verification rather than just having it as a necessary dependency. Okay, so like I said, we will be having one additional Bastion host that I will be basically working from. I already have my IPv6 addresses done. What else is required? Full passwordless SSH connectivity from Bastion to all of the nodes. And I think passwordless sudo also, but I don't quite remember. Yes, passwordless SSH between nodes with, okay, so passwordless SSH, but not necessarily passwordless sudo. Because basically you don't really need it because you are SSHing directly into root, right? Time sync. Also, we are doing this on Ubuntu 24.04. It has Python greater than 3.10. Good internet access, we have that. One virtual IP for Horizon Expose and OpenStack API Expose, we also have that. Each node should have two network interfaces, right? One for management network and one for external provider network. VM access or floating IPs, right? So this is basically for your internal traffic, for OpenStack shenanigans, and this is basically what your customers will be using. Sometimes you may want to have more networks than that, right? Maybe storage network, maybe something else, like a dedicated storage network. I would say for the very beginning, two are a very good compromise, and some productions are probably running with two networks. Because let's remember, this is like a cloud, not an HPC compute cluster. Because yeah, you may set up OpenStack in many different sorts of ways. And typically you spend a lot of time discussing how you want to deploy your OpenStack. But I would say getting your hands-on experience deploying whatever is also really important, because you need to know something in order to talk about something. Also, I am not an OpenStack expert. I have already done a few of those tutorials, trying out some different tutorials, and I have never once succeeded in deploying a multi-node OpenStack setup. So we are doing multi-node. We'll see how that goes. Like I said, I almost succeeded previously with this. And I've had many people tell me that OpenStack Kolla is the way to go in order to have simple, working, and upgradable OpenStack deployment. Because what also the Kolla does, it also deploys OpenStack as a set of Docker containers, which means that upgrade is basically replacing containers and doing stuff like that. Okay, so I do know that I kind of have to start with this. I need to run my proxy. And let me go to my Bastion. And oh, has my SSH session timed out? Was I too slow? Yeah, just a second. Yep, I got disconnected. Okay. You probably may have noticed, but I am not running this, like I'm not currently streaming from Linux. I am streaming directly from Windows, and setting SSH options is something that I don't really have time to discover. Okay, Docker, is it running anything? Yeah, I have some leftover images, so Docker image prune, Docker container ls. They are supposedly unused, so why? Good day. Also, good day to you. Hello, hello, hello. Some JKiv. Sorry, I had to really like click around. Okay. So let's remove them manually. And let's try running our registry. So Docker registry. This okay, maybe not. First of all, I have a varlib registry. So because this is where I have my dedicated partition for large files. I think I am mostly interested in Quay.io. I don't really want to authorize. I just want to have a caching proxy. Okay, and since I have started this in this very bad way, yep, yeah. Oh, it's not giving me an option to detach? Oh boy, okay. But I guess in order to observe this better, I'll just run it in Tmux. Okay, so supposedly we have the cache running. So I will switch back to this website, and for the requirements I have already done some preparation. So basically I have done this, I have upgraded, I have installed cronny, rsyslog, iputils, NFS, and have enabled cronny. I have done this on the NFS node, which basically means installing NFS server and pointing it to your desired partition and basically creating an NFS export. And this is deploying the actual Kolla Ansible installation host. So it says only on controller 1, because this tutorial assumes you are using the controller 1 also as a deployment node. Like I said, I am doing everything on my Bastion node, which is like an additional node here. So let me do those commands. They are already done. Perfect. So now we will install our virtual environment. So, oh, it kind of messes up. The scaling messes up with my... Okay, I'm sorry, but you'll have to leave like this, at least for a bit. So let me maybe go here, and here I will create everything. So Python recreate venv. By the way, this tutorial has like a typo here because it says create venv named Kolla venv, but then it just doesn't use this Kolla prefix. I mean, if you really wanted to do this by yourself, just have that in mind. Okay, source. I am really bad with my fingers. Now I have to look how my bash RC looks like. It may look like shit. Okay, thankfully it's not that bad. I'm still not used to my new mechanical keyboard. It feels too soft at the times. Okay, pip install upgrade pip. Pip install Ansible core. What version? Okay, 2.21. Perfect. Pip install docker dbus python. And finally, pip install the Kolla Ansible with a specific pin on a version, I guess. So let's give that a minute. Oh my gosh, I just noticed that YouTube is automatically translating chat messages in the YouTube studio. Which is, I don't even want to say how bad of idea is it. What the fuck, YouTube? Please don't ever, never do that. Okay, I'll look it up after stream. But goddamn, good I've noticed that. Okay. So, now we have that. Now that we have that, it says to edit your Ansible configuration and paste those lines. And it tells you to do that in your home directory. But I will try to be at least a little bit smarter. Okay. And now it wants us to create some more directories. So basically this part. Now we are creating, now we are copying some samples. Installing some dependencies. Okay. And now Kolla gen password. Hooray. So now and those are pre-configured, or maybe not necessarily pre-configured, but generated passwords and some certificates and some keys and stuff like that. But the tutorial now says to look for keystone admin and just replace that with some password that we can actually use. So I will use something dumb, but this will basically be our login password for our admin user. Okay, now they want us to back up our globals configuration and then edit those globals. But now I have to check for one thing. Because I had all of those configuration options and especially addresses saved somewhere, but I don't really remember where. Oh well. We'll do it anyway. So the workaround Ansible issue we are leaving as yes. Kolla base distro. In our case, it's Ubuntu. OpenStack release. Yes, this has to be set and never changed, at least not never for now. Kolla internal via IP address. Basically, what I'm doing now is I'm changing these options, but I am changing them with my addressation in mind, by the way. So if you have different IP addresses, use different IP addresses. Okay, I will also connect to my Bastion host once more because I have my very beautiful IPv6 address set. So, Kolla internal VIP address. And this will be reachable by all of the hosts. Network interface. This will not be ETH0, but ENS18. Network address family. In our case, it will be a surprising IPv6. neutron external interface will be ANS19. And now, this is the part where we basically enable the modules we want to have in our OpenStack instance. So we are enabling Cinder, we are enabling our Cinder backend for NFS. We are enabling Cinder backup. We are doing the backup driver. Oh my god. No Ceph this time. And Cinder backup share will be our will be this. It should work like this. And Nova Compute. Okay. So now we are creating, we have done this, right? Now we are creating custom configuration. So basically I am just copying those little thingies. Okay, and now the inventory configuration, which is basically the point where we are telling our Kolla Ansible on which host it has to run. Since I am not using some public DNS, my etc hosts is identical on all of those nodes. I have already done that pre-stream. So basically they have like full hosts mapping in their etc hosts. And this is done. Now, vim etc Kolla multinode. And this is where we'll have to change some stuff. So for our, and I will just copy this to my notepad. Okay. And now, this will be my control. 1, 2, and 3. Our network will be also our control. Our compute will be our compute. By the way, all of those are set up as a VMs. So if you want to try that out, go ahead. Just have in mind that each and every one of those should have at least 16 gigs of RAM. Okay, monitoring. We will delegate that to controller free. And storage will be on our dedicated storage. Okay. By the way, as you can see, the rest of the groups of the hosts in this host file basically rely on those groups that we have determined here. The control, the network, the compute, the monitoring, and the storage. Everything else is like localhost or bare metal that basically gets its host from the previous groups and etc. Right? So Prometheus takes monitoring, right? HA cluster gets control, stuff like that. So, interestingly enough, this is almost everything, but one thing that this tutorial does not cover is the proxy. And for the love of me, I think that proxy was being Kolla Ansible OpenStack was basically being told how to do that in the official docs. Install dependencies, Python dependencies, Galaxy. Oh yes, this. And this is misleading because this does not work. You cannot use just Docker registry. And this is in globals, okay? So Docker registry is OS Bastion local and running on a port 3128 if I remember correctly. 3128. Docker registry is secure. Yes, please. And now we should be all right. I have basically set this. Okay. So now we should be able to bootstrap our servers. Okay, the connectivity seems to be working fine. There is also one extra option, which just tells Kolla to simply pull Docker images without trying to apply any configuration whatsoever. And we will do that in order to test our proxy settings. But now it is doing some bootstrap operations, like installing Docker, updating cache, stuff like that. It's still apparently 35 degrees Celsius outside, so it's really, really hot. Okay. So now, what was the... need a quick reminder. Kolla Ansible. Yes, Kolla Ansible. We have to point it to our multi-node basically every time. Okay. Some errors. Tmax. Okay. So we have some issues with our proxy, but we also have issues with our bash RC, because it shouldn't be sourcing this, it should be sourcing this. Thank you. Once more. Okay, so what may not work? What is the problem? Error for URL for OpenStack Kolla during handling of the above exception. Three one two eight. First of all, 3128. Yes, OS Bastion. Just to make sure. Oh. They... What the hell? Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. What the hell is this? So hot. Have I missed something, or is it just doing those shortened names? But it may simply not have the OS Bastion. So I might modify one thing. I mean, it should work either way. This is Bastion. They also only have IPv6 addresses. I mean, I have become really keen on IPv6 recently. I have really started deploying it widely at work. Like whenever I'm too lazy to deploy DHCP server, IPv6 with router advertisement just serves me right. Yeah. Oh, fresh water. I might go just the lazy route. Zobaczymy, czy nie będzie mi za bardzo szumiało do mikrofonu, żeby wytestować.
No, żeby powiesz chociaż.
Tak, tak.
Tą stronę.
We are trying to run a fan. Okay, OS Bastion that local. OS Bastion that local. Like I said, I might just go the very, very lazy route. But I also should have prepare that sh script here. Which has done all of the pre-config for me. So copy, prepare hosts. just because I'm lazy and I want to avoid unnecessary mistakes. So our init base will be just echo etc hosts on all of those. Co wywróciłaś? A, nic, okay. If I suddenly disappear on the stream or the stream ends, that means my girlfriend has disconnected the power while trying to plug in the fan.
Poczułam.
Tak? Okej, fajnie. Ale chyba jednak lepiej by było, jakby to dmuchało na nas, a nie robiło jakiś tam z dupy airflow. Z tej odległości nic nie czuć. Podmuchałaś na mnie syfem i teraz... I'm sorry. We're having some sort of shenanigans being discussed. Okay, this is done, so we can try that. Bash prepare hosts. And let's check. Okay, it seems to be working now, so let's try pulling once again. Okay, another wave of retries. I wonder, can I just curl these as a test? Weź na siebie, bo dla mnie to jest za daleko, a chociaż tobie będzie chłodno, ja sobie jutro Andrzej dokupię taki stojący, wysoki. A, widzisz? Oh yes, I wanted to do the curl test. Don't worry about this gibberish. This is something that is basically, I want to say, Tmox's fault for not supporting that, I guess, if I remember correctly. Curl. HTTP. Oh. Oh. Ay. Yeah, I forgot that this problem is quite obvious. This is only listening on IPv4. Shit. Okay. Docker registry was a bit smarter than that. I'm not sure if this will work. Yes. Yes, now we have the also IPv6. Docker caching proxy is working. Perfect. So let's try pulling everything once more. Why? To be honest, I have expected that this will be the most problematic part. The requested image does not exist. OS Bastion, OpenStack, Kolla. Okay. Mm. Maybe I am missing something in this configuration right here. Because I am not 100% sure what registries are being used. Key value, container name, dimensions, enabled, group, Kolla toolbox, OS bastion, privileged. Let me show you. Because this is basically the proxy I'm trying to use. I haven't updated almost 7 years ago. Okay, I haven't noticed that, to be honest. Shit. Okay. Okay, this is also like 6 years old, but it has some updates for README at least. A caching proxy for Docker to allow centralized management. Docker Inc. has announced a second apocalypse. I wonder what that is about. This has caused a new surge of interest in the project, blah blah blah. I added test matrix, merged some pull requests, including disable IPv6, which was a long-standing request. Why? I wonder. Okay. Simple, no authentication, all cache. Okay, it seems to be compatible with whatever we are running. Oh, this is what we are running. Oh, okay. So maybe that is kinda the problem, that I am trying to specify those registries. One more. And another failure. Because I have basically removed this part. By the way, this is like on Docker Hub, it's like almost 7 years old of that image. So maybe I'm also 0.6.5. Okay, 6.5. I may have been using some very, very old legacy version. Please, one more time. And once more, it fails. Unless we are actually running into some IPv6. Oh, this is why they wanted to disable the IPv6. because they were getting like DNS responses pointing them to IPv6 when they had no IPv6 network. But as it looks now, it doesn't seem like any traffic is hitting our proxy, and that is the problem. Image OS Bastion, OpenStack, Kolla, abandonable, privileged volumes. The requested image does not exist. This may have to do because, okay, let's do a quick test. Because I mean, I can just disable this and yeah, this seems pretty old. And they may have changed some stuff, but I can just, I have already done that previously. Oh yeah, let me just check one thing. Okay, I can just like not do the registry cache, and I can just pull images, and I can just pull them again and again and again. If I hit any limits, then I can just do that again. Those timeouts, I can wait a bit, and I can live with that, I guess, in order not to slow down the stream. But I would say I was like wondering whether should I deploy full Harbor instance just for that caching layer that I have actually tested and it's actually working. I guess maybe I would have some more problems here anyway. But Harbor's like is kind of a pain, like compared to whatever I've tried previously, right? And it's not like bandwidth is an issue here because I have like at least 100 gigabit uplink from the data center. Those are located at. And if not 100, then at least 10 gigs. So okay, now it's pulling images. So there is still some problem with proxy. Like I am trying to deploy this on 6 VMs, so maybe I'll get away with that this time. But if I were to deploy this on 100 servers, that's like 600 images. I would be definitely hitting those limits. But I would also advise you to pull images in advance, like before you hit this, like after you bootstrap the servers and have them install Docker, etc. Pull images, and only after that do the rest of the tutorial. But we'll see how that will be going in our case. So yeah, this is the segment where we sit and watch how images get pulled. But yeah, what other like things that made me try the OpenStack Kolla Ansible? Basically, recently I have been on a series of trainings at my workplace that basically are focusing on OpenStack, and a lot of trainers and a lot of my colleagues tell me that, like my colleagues or the people I know from other companies, that the Kolla is the way to go. And we have basically a philosophy at the place I work at that if you can get as many people to get to know the technology we are running, then good for you, right? And many people are kind of like, I want to say, scared by how complex OpenStack is. So I would really like to basically at least do those. First of all, to show you that you can do it. Second of all, in case of in case that I succeed, so you have some sort of baseline tutorial you can follow at your own leisure. And I really haven't live streamed in a really long time. So I kind of wanted to dust that off. By the way, is it just me or is everything like dominated by VTubers these days? Like whenever I go to Twitch, YouTube, whatever shorts or other clips, there is like a heck of a lot of VTubers. I mean, that's okay, I guess. It's just something I haven't been really accustomed to. Yeah, as you can see, this is lots of images being downloaded. Okay, so we will not be needing new proxy. Shame. Like, I really would love to. Maybe I'll just debug that later. But for now, let's just proceed with the installation because we still have, I want to say, at least half an hour ahead of us where this will basically be installing. And I really hope that with the images that are pre-pulled, everything will go more smoothly. But I really have spent a lot of time trying to debug why some steps of the installation are failing. Like, I want to say this would be almost an ideal time to watch some vids. But I haven't really prepared anything. I mean, past those few weeks I was basically playing Gothic Remake because I'm a really, really old Gothic fan. I haven't played Gothic 1 on Premiere, not because I was too young, but because I had no money. So I only played it, like, I want to say a year or two later, whenever it came out on those, you know, PC game magazines. But ever since that, I fell in love in Gothic. Okay. We have everything pulled. And just to be sure, I will run this command one more time, just to make sure that everything has been successfully pulled. Now it should be a lot quicker, by the way. As you can see, greens and blues all around, so that means everything is already there. I'm also not 100% sure I have configured my alerts correctly. I haven't really, like I said, streamed it in a long time. So if you subscribe and you are waiting for your pop-up, it should be there. I'm sorry if it's not there. If you feel offended, you can write something in chat. Okay, everything is pulled. So now that we have bootstrapped everything and pre-pulled the images, we can now run the pre-checks. What does that do exactly? I don't know. Debian release Trixie is not supported. Where? Which host is that? Jesus Christ, don't tell me I have installed Debian on my storage host. Everything should be Ubuntu. Oh, by the way, I know not many people are watching, but just a question for the crowd. How do you find the AI or basically visibly AI YouTube thumbnails? I have kinda like grown to like them for two reasons. First of all, they kinda are, well, looking way better than than something I do. And second of all, they I can basically go crazy with them, right? So the last video thumbnail having Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works theme in it would never be possible if it weren't for the AI. Okay, localhost. So basically this is for Bastion. Uh, this shouldn't concern us, to be honest. By the way, let me verify one more thing. Vim, localhost, deployment. Okay, this is only the deployment. So it doesn't like even the Bastion being Debian, but I would say, okay, this is not this error. And from what I know, yeah, it's already installed. This is basically an extra step from this tutorial. Okay, so now, ladies and gentlemen, now it is time after the pre-checks to deploy our OpenStack. Oh yeah, actually, yeah, great point. As much as I kind of don't like it because Tmax doesn't allow me to scroll up and down easily, it might be better in case I get disconnected. So, 3, 2, 1, go. I mean, previously, when I deployed this, I had some problems with storage, basically with Cinder and the NFS export share. But aside from that, the OpenStack pretty much worked. The other, like, I think pro to the Kolla installation method is that if it fails at any point, you can basically deploy again and again and again and again because you're basically deploying containers. There is a small asterisk to that because you are also like deploying high availability MariaDB MySQL database, the Galera or whatever. And if that gets mangled during the configuration or deployment, you have to spend at least some time like cleaning it up and trying and telling to deploy it again. And that's something I've had the most problems with previously when I tried to deploy everything. But aside from that, you can basically deploy again, again, and again, and again. And I think this is also the same way you upgrade. So you maybe pull the latest Kolla Ansible version, and then you basically change the 2025.2 to, I don't know, 2026 point whatever. Hit deploy, and then basically your OpenStack instance gets upgraded, right? I'm keeping my fingers crossed because I know how many things can go bad, and it might not even be the point yet where they go bad. Like as long as we don't see any red. Okay, MariaDB volume. Okay, this is the crucial point I want to say because even if it fails, everything else will continue. Fuck. Shit. Yeah, timeout waiting for string, which means it doesn't mean we are cooked. But it also may and may not mean we are cooked. Because maybe the timeout was a bit too slow. Okay, now we are supposedly in the green. Wait for first MariaDB service port liveness. Okay, green, green, okay. Maybe it's not so bad. Maybe we are not as cooked as I thought we are. Okay. Okay. False alarm, I guess. And still keeping my fingers crossed. Because sometimes Ansible, the Kolla Ansible also notices that something is not working, but maybe I should try again in a few seconds. And if it weren't working, and if it weren't like be able to like hit that SQL database on the VIP address, we would be having error message. I know that I've had happened to me previously, and now it seems we are in the green. And I think previously my biggest issue is that I haven't done the image pull beforehand. Everything was happening live during deploy. And I think some hosts like didn't pull the images fast enough, or basically some of the pull process failed. And that's why not every member of the SQL cluster could boot, and I had more and more error messages. So that pull step is very, very crucial, I would say. Okay, now RabbitMQ. I would really like this to be a successful stream, if possible, because I do remember every other previous OpenStack deployment method I've tried ended up in a spectacular failure. But nonetheless, since those were like public live streams on YouTube, some people did try like to link them as a proof that some method works, because the title didn't say outright that it doesn't. It just said I'm trying to do something, and they obviously didn't watch like 3-hour live stream in order to confirm. So they just were like linking and saying, hey, it works, when it actually didn't. Okay, I have to say, I am kind of hopeful for this. Like, really. Like, Rabbit deployed okay, everything is okay as for now. Okay, I think we are near the end. I have to say, I am kind of stressed, because I really, really would like this to work. I mean, I also think that simply not doing the let me show you. Simply not doing this, but adding one extra bastion host from which the deployment is being made may have also helped compared to what I was doing previously on my own. By the way, if you are actually watching this as a VOD later, do leave a like and subscribe. If you made it this far and you are watching VOD, if you are watching live, I appreciate that. But if you are watching VOD, I wanted to congratulate you for the fact that you have watched this far and you are still listening. And this is something definitely not for today, but one other thing I would like to stream is the development of my open source tool, Godin, which I definitely need to make a YouTube video about. Oh my god, I forget that GitHub is dumb and really forces upper and lower cases. Yeah. Lurking when I try to set up OpenSense high availability. Oh my gosh. You definitely need more. I guess you need multiple routers for that, or just multiple VMs. Sounds interesting though. Anyway, while this is almost done, this is Godin. This is a thing I wrote because I got irritated by every other tool that existed that did that. It basically pulls information about installed packages. So if you have apt or yum, I mean, I think DNF is not yet supported, but it's almost like already in place to almost be. It basically creates structured JSON reports and then uploads that to a central server from which you can query you can create Grafana dashboards and create like central knowledge base about what packages you have installed in your fleet of servers. Dzięki. Yeah, I have got some chocolate. And I need to eat this quickly before it gets like melty. I mean, imagine how much longer this would take if we still had to pull the images and basically combine configuring everything with pulling images. Like I said, that's a recipe for self-destruction. Also, from one other thing that I have in front of me, and I just cannot get myself to remember to bring this back to work. 100 gig optics. QSFP28, CWDM, like two of those. Like it's almost kind of funny how it is easier to have everything 100 gig, like interfaces, network cards, cabling, even if you are not using 100 gig. Like it's so much less pain in the ass. Like you can really get uh, I see that emoji. You can really like basically get kind of okay switches, like 100 gig, like 48 ports or whatever, like really a lot of ports. But if you try to get like, I don't know, 40 gigs, 25 gigs, 20 gigs or whatever, I think 10 gig is still like reasonably supported everywhere. But it's almost like way less headache to just have everything 100 gig. And in case you really, I guess, want to limit some speeds, just do that on the switch or on the router. Or on the network card itself. Oh my gosh, I am kind of like getting my hopes up because I guess the checks that are trying to see if services are lively on the floating IP are working, are passing. I mean, I do enjoy talking and streaming, but it will be kind of amazing if we could get that done under an hour and a half and just have a working OpenStack deployment. This would almost be better than because yesterday me and my girlfriend we bought Librarian, the game where you basically tidy up library and put books back into their place. And I've like replayed it like today, and I think I got like an hour and 50 minutes time. So it would be funny if this would be faster than my personal best, my PB, in the library game. Let me also check because those nodes are VMs running on Proxmox. So let me just go quickly through their vitals. Yes, every VM has 16 gigs of memory. Um, oh yeah, 16 gigs of memory, but only two virtual CPUs, two vCPUs, which is kind of funny. Maybe I should have given them more CPUs, but with less CPUs, they will be only a bit slower. With less RAM, they could possibly just run out of memory and restart indefinitely. Also, like, really, imagine doing all of this by hand and orchestrating everything together without containers. Oh, I wonder if I should stream my adventures with Arista switches that I will be, I guess, having pretty soon. But I wonder if I will be able to do that because I will then be at work, and it's not like a year or two ago when I was streaming from work, because now we have some more people, and those people I either need help or I need something from them. So I don't really have like, I want to say 4 hours that I have just for myself, where I can just stream from work at work. But I would love to do that because those 800 gig Arista switches are really something. And that would be a lot of adventuring into EVPN VXLAN territory. Also, I have kind of rewatched my latest video, my latest upload, and I wonder what I should do with the thing I say at the very end, because I did say I will use hentai to illustrate internet traffic or how internet works. And I wonder how I should approach that. Link me your favorite hentai in the chat. Okay. Damn. I guess it's done. Uh, yes, one little thing first. Okay, so now, after it is done deploying, we can run post deploy. And we will do that, but maybe not in the Tmax. Oh yeah, it basically gives you like source files to log on to your OpenStack instance from the CLI. So now we will install OpenStack client or on our Bastion. Okay. And now edit bash rc and tell it to load our admin credentials. Okay. Now, testing. Okay, we have some services deployed and running. And this is a very good question, whether this will work. Because I think this is where I said that this may not work because we don't have IPv4 connectivity and GitHub fucking sucks. SRV. I think this is like some sort of pre-up script that preloads your deployment with some basic images and creates some test app. Because the other thing that should just work is, and let me check that first and then just come to you with a ready result. Okay, I am not 100% sure what this run once, init run once is doing, but I guess we'll find out in a second. Because right now it is just hanging. Okay, creating glance image. Yeah, shit. Error while executing command. So it I guess it means it wasn't able to create storage stuff on time. Mm. Okay. Why is this? Oh. Ha ha ha. So basically, I guess one thing is not mounted. Yeah. Okay. Let me check one more thing. What the heck? Yikes, that means uh, I may have thought that I have configured this pre-stream, but in fact, I haven't done that at all. Do you know what that makes me? An idiot. Oh, that's not the part I wanted to configure actually. I am too far in. Pum pum pum. Yep. Yes, okay. PC FS tab. Okay, first of all, mkdir Kolla NFS. Second of all, stemctl. Okay. I mean, but this should already be like... I don't really understand what 100% happened. But it should be... It should be working. So if we run init run once for a second time, so we basically run it twice. This tool should be run once per deployment. It is quite smart. Okay. And now... Yay! Let me show you. Welcome to our horizon. And now we will use the password. We have configured cookies may be turned off. I think I've had this. Oh, yes, I think I remember what that was. Damn. This may refer to trusted proxies, but I don't remember. Hmm. Uh, I may have forgotten that this also needs to have like trusted IP address for the reverse proxy set. And I don't know where that was. And I don't remember. Okay, maybe. Okay, so it may not have been in the globals. OpenStack Kolla trusted proxy address. Trusted proxy is typically used to configure. So maybe OpenStack Kolla Horizon ref proxy trusted proxy address. Yes. Yeah, I do kind of think I have. I think I have configured something like this previously. I feel like I have. So as you can see, it also like gives you a lot of flexibility when it comes to reconfiguring already deployed instance. Oh, our custom settings. Okay. .503. Disable cache. What the hell? What do you mean cookies may be turned off? Cookies may be turned off. Tail F varlog nginx. I mean, we do get the CSRF failure. But that's like the message. Okay. OpenStack Horizon. this is a good idea. Okay. Do I have all of those three options? I have. Kolla internal FQDN. Maybe that's also something that I have forgotten to set. Okay. Yes. OpenStack sys ICM edu pl. And I guess now we need to do a full reconfigure. Yeah, this will take a second. But we are almost done. Like, I want to say, if I had done that in the very beginning, I guess everything would have worked by now. I want to say almost done, but I think I've said it way too many times by now. Finally, some changes. Oh, and finally it's trying to use, yes, the proper FQDN, so there is some hope. I have to say, for all of this time, it's been so hot I just want to die. So I would love this to just work and be able to farewell you guys with at least a small success. Okay, finally we are also at the NFS shares. So maybe the problem with the mismatched NFS configuration will disappear. I mean, for next time, if I will be doing this again, I will have some sort of uh, intermission segment ready, because to be honest, I haven't thought that I'll be doing it this much. The reconfiguring. By the way the networking is done in the OpenStack is also a very interesting subject that I just learned recently. Like, uh, everything is being done almost programmatically, like on software, not necessarily on hardware. If you can grab a packet and route it between VMs or networks in the virtual switch on a server, then you do that. You don't necessarily have to send it to your uh, let's say router on a stick. You can just grab that with your software and filter it locally in order to save on latency and bandwidth. Like sometimes just having your mind switch to the different paradigm of how you do networking, especially with the OpenStack and stuff, like really requires you to basically hammer that knowledge into your head. Because I would say me and probably all time admins are just used to basically everything being a physical VLAN and just packets traveling over the network. But with Kubernetes and cloud and everything else, it's just not exactly that. I mean, like, really, really. Almost done. Please. Please be done. I mean, I guess I couldn't just run it with the Horizon tag. It did reconfigure a lot of other stuff, like keystone endpoints. Hey, is it possible to recover data from Lux encrypted drive if formatted and created new Lux partition with new OS? Depends. Is it SSD and NVMe or is it spinning platter? I mean, in both cases, I guess you could try to recover something, but unless it was worth, I want to say tens of thousands of dollars to you, uh, then it's not worth it. And VME, well, I guess you can kiss that data goodbye then. Like, because especially if you have initialized uh, the new drive and you have already written some data over to it, then you are screwed on multiple levels, especially if you are doing encrypted locks. Because typically with NVMe, if you are overwriting something, that data that has been overwritten is gone, right? It doesn't mean that when you are formatting the drive, everything gets overwritten. It only means that the partition table gets overwritten. But that already means that at least part of your data is already unrecoverable. And you would have to basically gamble on the fact that it is somewhere. And I would say that the analysis of the encrypted LUKS blocks in order to find wherever you are searching for would be very, very pricey. So short answer, no. Long answer, unless you have a lot of money. I mean, if you have a lot of money, then maybe. But short answer is no, not really. I am kind of like wondering whether I should just play something and put some game on while this is running. I have Librarian, I have Gothic Remake, I have Persona 4 Golden, I have Subnautica 2, I have Frostpunk 2, I have Baldur's Gate, but I really haven't played Baldur's Gate much. Talos Principle, Factorio, Star Wars Republic Commando, Kingdom Come. I mean, from the games that I have basically installed right now. Neutron. Okay. Gothic may increase the temperature in my room even more. Thanks for letting me know. No problem. Wishing you luck. I mean, Gothic is so good. Okay, let me just play a little bit of Gothic. And I will show you this in a second. I just need to change my resolution setting. So if this stream flashes, then don't worry. Because I am playing on ultra-wide monitor and my 1080p stream can't possibly handle that. So let me change the resolution. And sound a bit less. Okay. I need to modify some stuff. Hooray. Add scene. And I am playing the one and only best dubbing. Oh, I guess you don't also have like audio. Audio output capture. Application audio capture. Where is that? Okay, I guess you should be able to hear something. I mean, this will be in Polish anyway, because I have to say Polish dubbing for Gothic is the best. It is good, but trust me, it used to be even better. They managed to pull almost every voice actor they could to do like voices again for the remake. I guess not everyone is alive now that was back then. So one of my favorites is having a different voice actor. Let's go meet him. By the way, this is my second playthrough. This is why I am a complete novice on level 1. But my favorite character in this camp sadly has a different voice actor. No, not you. Where's Snaff? Here you are. Sadly, this is a different voice. But the main protagonist has the ideal voiceover. And this guy has voiced this, like the actor has voiced this character, I want to say, since 2001. In Gothic 1, 2, 3, I want to say in Arcania, that's basically, we don't talk about Arcania. And everything else that basically is Gothic related and has the nameless hero. Okay, how much ore do I have? 38. I mean, the irony is, as soon as I launch this game, I bet like within 2 or 3 minutes the reconfigure will end. I want to also say that the nameless hero sadly is not as deadpan with his delivery as he used to be, because that was way, way better.
Co to za przysługa?
Nic wielkiego. Chcę kupić broń od Fiska. To jeden z handlarzy na targu. Rzecz w tym, że nie chce mi jej sprzedać. Mogę
Yeah, and
ci
in a
dać
previous
100 bryłek.
playthrough,
W
I
zamian
joined
powiem
the
jego.
new camp.
Dobra,
And
daj
now
mi
I
rudę.
guess I'll
No
join
i
the old
świetnie.
camp. I just really never could join the swamp camp. The crazies from the sleeper sect. Because I always thought,
jesteś tu
and I
nowy,
think that was
prawda?
even
Jestem
so more
Fizz.
true in the old
Handluję
Gothic
wszystkim, co się
version,
nawinie, jeśli czegoś
that like their
potrzebujesz,
storyline ends
wal
quite
jak
quickly.
dym.
And I always felt that I have like really nothing to do there quite early on.
Szukam miecza.
No to masz szczęście, bo tak wystarczy 100...
Dobra. Dobra. Biorę.
Yeah, there is a
Daję ci
trap if you
najlepszą-
tell him that, like that he tried to bump his price. Compared to the other guy, he will just not sell you that sword.
Fisk powiedział, że
Więc przyszedłeś do mnie.
Chcesz ten miecz, czy nie?
Dobra, dobra.
Okay, I also see that
Mam twój miecz.
the reconfigure has ended.
Nie było tak źle. Jeśli Diego zapyta, co o tobie sądzi,
And we have also finished our quest. Sadly, that means we are back to... I mean, sadly, well, enough with the games. Enough with the games. And let's try again logging in admin and our super duper secret password. Shit. Why does it not like let me try that in incognito mode. I'm not sure what is the problem here anymore. Sites enabled. I mean, I can also try one little thing. Oh, yes, and this, I guess, will not be happening here, and also apt install nginx. Okay, it is installed. Why? Oh yes, here we have timed out. It will be faster if I'll just... Not sure which one of them now has the Horizon container. That's a lot of text on screen. That's not necessarily very easy to read. 40. Okay, but where should I basically configure this? Hmm. etc OpenStack, but this is not Kolla. Oh shit, I forgot to exit the studio mode. Should I ask ChatGPT? Single external frontend for services. I mean, the funny thing is this would probably have worked if I have had IPv6 on this computer and I could like reach that IPv6 directly. Hmm. Okay, this guy has some funny, weird deployment. OpenStack because I'm seeing Keycloak. Okay. Yeah, this has to do with the config. Okay. We do not address encryption and we will use an HTTPS reverse proxy. You're seeing what I'm seeing? Yeah. Preamble. We will install OpenStack on a private network, blah, blah, blah. We will not address HTTPS termination on a private. We will use another host to configure HTTPS reverse proxy. Particularly regarding the secure proxy SSL header that detailed at here. If you are using HTTP proxy in front of your web server rather than using HTTP with HTTPS, modify the secure proxy. Refer to Django documentation. Secure proxy SSL. Okay. This might be it. But this is something we already have configured, to be honest. Because this is this. HTTP X forwarded proto. And on our Nginx, HTTP X forwarded proto. Shouldn't it be this? Mm-hmm. A tuple representing an HTTP header value combination that signifies a request is secure. For example, this tells Django to trust the X forwarded proto header that comes from our proxy. Well, we have that. Oh yes, but I wanted to try one last thing. Why does this keeps redirecting me to HTTPS? I mean, I guess okay, if you really want to do that, then fine. Hmm. Cookies may be turned off. Trust me, they are not. Okay, but maybe I am missing something else. Our installation uses blah 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 blah. How to use this guide? Values, requirements, pre-installation, passwordless sudo NFS. I'm looking for the part with FQDN. Chaos. Wait. What the fuck did I do? Okay. Network interface user location. OS example com. Okay, this is something that I need to look for. This fucking shit. This is it, I guess. I mean, at least I guess we don't have to reconfigure everything. Just the horizon. So this should be significantly shorter and does not require me to launch Gothic. And okay, now this stream is longer than my best time at Librarian. Okay. It's not up yet. Admin password, fingers crossed. We're in. Yay. So now for the... Okay, so as you can see, this was really easy with some small caveats. So let's do one last check, because if this worked, then everything else should also work. Test, gig, whatever. Please work. Please, please, please. Error. So I wonder if it is because I was a big idiot and I didn't configure NFS as I thought I had before I deployed OpenStack. Could not find any available backend. Oh my gosh. So this is weird. This is very, very weird. Var log Kolla Cinder volume log. Let's delete this volume. I just want to see whether we are like getting hit. AMPQ server is unreachable, but when was that? That was... Okay, it's UTC, so it was 2 minutes ago. You also should be able to see whether we are getting any... We are not getting like any communication to our storage backend. Okay, Cinder is running. I mean, we're this close to greatness, and I am basically dripping with sweat. But I would love to have this one little small win. And the problem is that if I wanted to roll back the VMs to their initial stage, it would take a really, really long time. Cinder. Yes, yes. Okay, Cinder backup share. Cinder backend Ceph. No, okay. Sorry, you are probably not seeing that. Cinder backup mode option. Valid options are Cinder backup share. Grep globals Cinder backup share. Oh my gosh. Can I try and at least dynamically mount this? So mount TNFS. What and where? Mount program didn't pass remote address. It doesn't like IPv6. Cat etc hosts. Storage OpenStack local. I am not quite sure. Version 3 and version 4.0. Apt install NFS client, by the way. Yes, we don't have NFS client on the Bastion. Oh. Okay. What the hell? Does that mean it has created the volume? No. This is something old. Does it also mean that I can mount with pure IPv6? Okay, I can. And so the format is correct. So what does that mean? What else can be possibly wrong? But why am I getting error so quickly? I mean, let me retrace back my steps quickly. So my NFS is working, but in my globals, in my globals, I need enable Cinder. Yes. Enable Cinder backup. Yes. Enable Cinder backend NFS. Yes. Cinder backup driver and Cinder backup share. Those are there. Create NFS custom config connection. But we have done that. Vim etc Kolla config NFS shares. And this is correct. We have tested that. I want to launch an instance. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, not necessarily what I'm looking for. Oh, screw you. Nine years ago. Does it also do Cinder? Our installation uses OpenStack folder for creating. If you have NAS where you can blah blah blah. NFS shares OpenStack will user hosts. We are not addressing user choices like Cinder or values for disk size, memory number. We recommend at least 40 gigs. 2 physical NICs. NFS for Cinder. Yes, this is the preparation of the NFS exports. Enable Cinder backend. Yes, those options we are familiar with. Hmm. Could not find any available weighted backend. I do wonder if it's the fault of our run once being interrupted. Okay, let's create a test. So now what? If I go to volumes, and create volume. Error. This is irritating because this is something I have completely not encountered previously when I was doing this. This was going way too smoothly. And now I am paying the price. Because now I feel like this is such a weird issue that shouldn't really be a problem. Because I get the feeling that it is just acting as it has never ever saw. Like it's just not trying to communicate with Cinder. And I want to say, if you are using something else than NFS, then there is a high chance you will just have everything working. Yeah, this run init1 script is basically creating some flavors, setting up some basic stuff, so it's not that crucial. Oh yeah, and previously it was failing here. I mean, I will give myself 5 more minutes. If I don't get this done, then you can expect me to basically write a comment under this live stream later on. Because this is something very, very weird, and I would assume very, very basic, because since I am not seeing anything in the logs here, I mean, what the hell is happening? Is unreachable. Server unexpectedly closed connection. Try again in 1 second. Oh, dzięki. This is iced tea, by the way, not pure beer. No wait instance. Hmm. I can do one last thing. Let's reboot our storage node. And then we will try and reconfigure storage. And if that doesn't help, then I'm sorry, but we have deployed everything basically 99%. And we just have problems with that single storage backend. It's taking its sweet time to restart because Docker is trying to gracefully stop some containers. Why does it take at least like a minute and a half for a simple stupid timeout? I don't get that. Okay. So let's give this a second. Okay. I guess test 5 it is. Could not find any available backend. Okay, so this is my promise to you. I will write this at least in the comment under this VOD. If I had successfully found the fix for that. If not, then maybe I'll just do another live stream in a few days, because it does feel like there are many things that I need to incorporate that are basically fixes and improvements for this. Right? So yeah, it's been almost 3 hours, but still, like, I mean, if you're not using Sender and you know your backends and you have Ceph or stuff, there's a high chance you can do this the way I did it and just have a different storage backend. But yeah, this is not a bad tutorial. It is just missing a bit stuff. Okay, well, I'll see you next time. Bye.